Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Dream Stream. It's Yiskah Koock and Ellen Ronis here with you on this fine and gorgeous spring morning.
Hello, good morning. Is it fine and gorgeous in New York?
Oh my goodness. It's
pretty fine and gorgeous in Santa Fe too.
61 degrees right now.
That's so
early.
perfect.
And
what do we
door
got?
open, the window open.
58. You're a couple of degrees warm. Oh, we also a couple of degrees.
You're early. You're quite early.
A couple of degrees. I haven't had a coffee yet.
What time is it there?
It's 8:13 a.m.
Okay, early riser. So I just want to I see the background. I see my background, and I just want to make a quick apology for all the clutter, but I am moving soon. So I'm figuring out, yes, I have to move.
Oh my goodness, you didn't tell me.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me. I mean, is this maybe not the appropriate venue for that, but
well, we can stay on after, and talk
okay,
about more, I'm excited. I'm glad to talk about it, not now.
Yeah.
So how has your dream life been?
Interestingly, so I moved to this new, beautiful, bright place.
Moving.
With the not magnetized knives looking like they're at my head, which is kind of funny, but I love that.
It actually makes us safer.
Yeah, I can just grab it. Anyway, I'm very happy in my new space. Very, very happy. Really delighted. And since I've been here, I have not had one single dream. I haven't been sleeping well. Moving is very stressful, and you will remember as you begin to prepare for your move. Yes. It's really it just upends everything. It's physically exhausting, beyond physically exhausting, and also emotionally exhausting and psychically exhausting, and it's really intense. So all that being said, is I'm so happy to be here, and I haven't had a single dream that I remember since I've been here.
Right. We often talk about, Ellen, how when your life is so full, your living dream. It's living dream. You have almost a dream. You could even find the metaphors in your life that might. I know you're not a big metaphor person.
Never no, I mean I don't. It's not that I'm not. It's just the metaphors have to work for me.
Sure. So yeah. But starting over, I mean, even something as simple as that's huge.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say one thing, because this is weighing on me. It's like, I don't want to get rid of I've gotten rid of books for years. I'm a big book collector. I used to be, not so much anymore, but I don't know if you could call me a collector, or just have a lot of books. And I have sold, but you're having a big yard sale on Saturday. So this is weighing on me right now. I have sold my books. I have given books away, for decades actually. But I don't want to give my books away. So what is your advice?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Out, right? I don't want to just pick my 10 favorite books. No, I don't.
No, 10 is too little. No, you must have more.
Little. Yeah.
No, I would say it depends on how many books you have, and like really what are your resources in terms of space where you're moving, and that's really something to consider, is like, what is your space that you're moving into. But I will say that when Tim and I split up and we moved, we got rid of so many books. Oh my God. We had this giant wall of built-in bookshelf filled with stuff. It wasn't even actually filled, but we had a lot of books, and I got rid of stuff. I got rid of a ton of stuff. And then when I moved to where I was moving to, I was happy that I didn't have so many books. I really was. But there were 2 or 3 books. I'm like, shit, I wish I didn't get rid of those. Damn it. But I would say things like novels, even though I have some novels.
These aren't even novels. I don't keep novels. I pass novels on.
Right. Those you pass.
If I read a good book, I pass that on.
Yeah. And so I would sort of meditate on the things, I have this handful of books that are about sort of trade things, body work stuff, and healing books on healing and stuff. And it's I don't need this book. I have this in me. I already know how to do that healing work.
How I feel about books about multiple sclerosis. Why do I need it? I'm never gonna fucking read your experience with them. What unless it's a cookbook, or whatever.
Right. Cookbooks.
That I can get rid of. But it's like Joseph Campbell and all these different dream books and
I have all my dream books.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to, I can help you go through things because I'm good at that.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Okay.
really good at that. I'm actually a good
Okay.
order, get rid of.
You, yes, we do.
Yeah.
I would love that. So yes, so we can get off that topic. I don't mean to.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's that's heavy. That's part of moving. That's part of the stress of moving. It's like, who am I now? What do I need? What will I need?
Right.
Yes,
and I really want to pare down. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
It's important to do that, I think, for energy. You definitely creates more space and energy. It really does. I mean, I'm a big proponent of that.
Well, you're Shang Shui. What is it?
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui. Yeah, so are there principles about that? I mean, it seems obvious, right?
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, it doesn't mean get rid of all your beloved stuff. It just means it's like the whole Marie Kondo thing.
Exactly, which
I a verb, my Marie Kondoing. Yeah, but what for me, because I've often had small spaces, it's like, what's pretty to me, what looks beautiful to me, like whether it's an object or a wall hanging or even like a pot or a pan, what is very useful or beautiful. And if it isn't either one, any of those things, I will usually get
joy.
Yeah, sparking joy. You know how I feel about that word joy. We've talked about that. I am just joy. What does that even mean? I mean, not that I don't experience pleasure and joy, but I don't, like a piece of clothing doesn't spark joy, but it makes me feel like, I like this clothing. I like the way it looks on me. I'm going to keep it. I don't feel joy.
Well, it's just labeling it.
We'll take that off.
Call it whatever you.
It's just my little rant because
call it whatever sparks joy in you.
Yeah, there's so much else to rant about these days that I'll just rant about. Sparking. Well,
I have a dream, my darling.
Oh, good, because I don't. So yes, fantastic. So, let's hear it.
And I have to say, I know on this website, I know I'm calm and I'm a little spacey often. And but I have to say, I used to be angry. I was an angry person. And I know I'm not that way anymore. I have worked on myself so much, so much for so many years. But when I was younger, I actually, I was never unkind to animals or children.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, of course. But I was a little ridiculous and over the top. So I just want to start with that because I feel like that feeds in. So this will be my therapy session.
Okay.
Thank you, Ellen. So my son had done something destructive, and somehow now the kitchen table is now cut in half and like pieces of it, almost like a puzzle. And none of it is like hammered together or anything. It's just like loose pieces. And I'm deeply upset because it had been my kitchen table since the 70s. And I felt he was being destructive, and he hadn't even asked me if he could do something. And so, and this is what I wrote. It made me very upset, and I yelled and yelled and yelled about it. 3 yells.
A lot of yelling.
Yeah, and so that's the dream.
Oh, okay. Does your dream have a title? Or what would you title it, as you would ask me?
I feel like I want to call it something about the kitchen table. What's that expression? Oh, that's the kitchen sink. No, not that. Everything
Everything
about the
but the
kitchen
kitchen sink.
table. No,
Doesn't feel like that. Yeah.
that's
No.
not that expression. Um,
Okay.
I want to call it kitchen table.
Okay. So reality check, was this a table in your waking life that you had, and was it old from the 70s?
So from the 70s, I'm born in 1970.
Uh,
And we had a big oak table, and then sort of a filler. And it was so cool because it opened, but it didn't open for them to place leaves in. You had to pull out a drawer and then pick it up and push it in, and the leaves are right there attached. It's just like the most awesome kitchen table. So in the 70s, it was my table. In the 80s, it was down in the basement with my mom and dad's luggage on top of it. It was like, storage. And then I guess in the late 90s, I took it, and I had to redo the top of it, which is just like cordwood. And I got like a piece of, I think I got red cherry. I don't think it's mahogany, it's red cherry. So I love that table. It means so much to me. So I could see being a little pissed if, my kid, and not that it's deliberate, but this is the kid that, like, when he was like a toddler, hung from the closet railing and broke, like he breaks things. Not a problem. It's my problem is to deal with that, as it was my problem to deal with his older brother's antics, and so I did do a little bit of work on the dream, but I don't want to. I jump in. I want, if you don't mind guiding me.
Well, I'll just keep going with my exploration, and then I'd love to hear what you riffed on, because
Okay.
that's ultimately what's the most important thing, in my opinion, is what you think about it.
Yeah. No, but for me, it's
well, it's all of it. I think sometimes,
Yeah.
we just kind of remind each other that there's another possibility, right? Let's see. Want to just see if there's any other clarifying questions. Did it look like your son? Like, was it your?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and it's now. Did it feel like it was this time?
Like maybe
of life
when he was 10, but he's 12 now.
Okay, so
right
now.
Yeah, nowish.
Okay, or a couple of years ago. That's interesting. If he was just, like, what was happening in your own psyche with your own inner little boy. Like, if I were to
oh my goodness.
in the
I have
young
not.
way,
I've not looked at this from that perspective.
Yeah, that's one perspective that I tend to look at things is, if each person, I mean, this, but I'll just say this for whatever audience might be listening today, that if I'm everything in the dream, if I'm each character in the dream, and even sometimes each object in the dream, like, if there's a boat or a house, or, so if I'm my son, to me, the son, your son, well, first of all, it's the masculine, right? So there's some kind of inner young masculine.
Yes.
And you mentioned being angry, and maybe there's something, connected to that younger part of you that used to be more angry. I don't know.
I was never, God forbid, I was never violent, and I was never like ridiculously angry at my kids. I didn't yell at my kids. I didn't raise them in a home where I was yelling at them, but they could push buttons, and I have lost it a couple of times, but a couple of times in a couple of decades. So
it's pretty reasonable, in my opinion.
No, I saved my anger for boyfriends and husbands. Not really, but I have to look at myself, and I am not the same. I am different in so many ways. Of course, I don't want to say I'm not the same. Of course, I'm the same person.
Yeah, well, we grow.
I'm different in so many ways. Thank God.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so okay. Something is striking me about the table being in pieces like a puzzle. I've had dream imagery like that. Something is in it, like something that feels like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
And
Impressionist painting.
yeah, like, so the thing that just occurred to me, and this is of course just my total projection of wherever I might be in my life right now,
Okay.
is it's like the table is apart. So some, something in you like just wanted to kind of, oh, it's probably about your move. Oh, I'm for total projection, of course.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's about something about like taking the pieces together, and then when you move, you put them back together, which is exactly what I'm experiencing. Like that feeling of who am I now? How do I want to put these pieces that are something very old and precious in a certain way, but I'd like to reform it because I'm different now. I'm in a different energy. I'm in a different space. I'm in a different home. So I don't know, something about that.
Aha.
Something about that.
That's very much the insight that I got from it, but it's amazing to hear you talk about it in that way. It does feel like that. And if we're gonna play with the Gestalt way of being every figure in my dream, if I am the kitchen table and now I'm different, I've changed. My son, other
Turn
son,
your phone off, honey.
my other son.
Goodness gracious.
Well, I have so much going on today.
Yeah.
So it's a reforming of who I am and how I can create my life. And one of the things that I used to not be so comfortable with was change. And of course, the only constant is change.
No kidding. Yeah.
So, but change was always hard for me when I was younger. But of course, now I see life is change. That's just what life is. So I'm fine with. I'm not angry about it. I have accepted the confines of this life and the challenges, and trying to always be the best person that I can be in a moment if I am able to. But it's something too about that the table used to be pretty lengthy, and now it's smaller and in pieces. So, and that's going to happen when I move. It's going to be a smaller place. This was my marital home. This was my family's home, and it's going to be smaller and reconfigured.
Absolutely. And I relate. I just, I've been through that so many times. So I went from my marital home, big home,
Yes,
3-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, blah, to
exactly.
a room in someone's house, like a tiny room in someone's
Yes.
house, and then into a small space, and now into a small, I've been in, so I get it. I get it. And yeah, change is always a big deal. Like
It's
even
always a big deal.
even
When
if
I say now I'm fine with it.
with things about it, it's just it human condition is, I think, many of us don't take easily to change, even though we know it.
I think so. And when I was saying like I'm not as like, I don't fight against, that's what it is. I don't fight against it anymore. I think I used to be very obstinate and like, really gonna do things my way, sometimes to my detriment, and so that's interesting, because in the dream I said 2 times, I noticed I wrote destructive. My inner child was destructive. So I feel like, so that's it's so nice to be able to take another step forward into my life and to see I'm not proud of a lot of stuff. I won't, because my divorce is about to be final. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't think I was the worst partner in the world. I was young. No, actually, I can't even say that. I was 35 when I got married. I wasn't young. I was younger.
We were all younger.
All younger.
So funny. Yeah. Listen, right. There's no reason to, I mean, maybe there's something that you need to look at in terms of that. But you know, it feels to me like you're just moving forward. You're just
Move forward.
moving forward, and there is a leaving behind of things.
So
And
sorry.
yeah,
The busyness is
yeah.
creeping in.
Anyway, you can turn the sound off, or do you need that to be on?
I think it's already down. I think it's all the way down. Whatever. I'm not gonna. Oh, you mean like
The ringer. Turn the ringer off.
no? I'm not gonna do that because it's hard for me to like to be very
The dexterity in your hands.
dexterous.
Gotcha.
But I hope this doesn't.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. We'll be flexible. I really love the imagery of you taking apart something old and putting it back together in a new place. I just love it. I think it's like so appropriate.
Yeah.
And what's the word? It's like becoming more essential. You're
Yes.
becoming more essential
Ooh,
without all
right.
the like what which
Right.
pieces
Oh
little
boy.
now fit together to make a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm bringing some part of my past that's good or
Mhm.
some part that's precious and making something different out of it. And that feels like what you're doing in your life,
You
in
know,
my estimation.
thank you. It feels very much like that. And it's reminding me when I was younger, at first I only, owned enough core things to fit in a big backpack and I was traveling around. And then I had like enough to fit in my truck. And then it was like, then I got a couch. I had to now get a U-Haul, and there was enough stuff to put in my U-Haul. Well, now it's a freaking probably a moving truck, whatever. It doesn't matter because different standards now. But I love the idea of getting back to the backpack. I want to
Yeah,
get back to the backpack,
right.
not literally.
Smallest amount that you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
And-
will take you up on your help with my
Yeah.
books.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
one of the things I actually think I've thought about having a business in what do you call that?
Marie Kondoing.
Yeah, like not just feng shui, but also what do you call that? Not estate planning. Oh my God, I can't
Oh,
anyway. Where you help people go through their stuff, sort
yeah.
out, get rid of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does it have a name?
There's a word for that.
Is there?
Organizer, a professional organizer.
Okay, there. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Thank you so much. Of course, I didn't want to go near that dream. I didn't want to touch it because I saw in myself a part of me that when I look back, I don't like it very much. I don't like, right, that's fine. I don't like that part of me. I'm not saying I don't like me. I don't like that part of me. I used to be very explosive.
Uh-huh. But the one question I didn't ask you, because now it's coming up for me, is how did you feel? Because it sounds like you felt something, right? I missed that was the most important question in my opinion, is how did you feel? Because
When I woke up,
sounding like you were feeling something like judgmental towards yourself or not happy with yourself.
I would say it was even more fearful to look straight on at this behavior.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay.
So you're associating the young boy with some part of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, even more than that, the yelling.
Ah, that's right. We didn't get to that.
Me, my own persona in the dream, yelling 3 times. Like that's not just explosive. That's like I have something I'm very angry about.
Yeah.
And I need to look at that. And I'm afraid to look at that. And that's how I felt when I woke up.
Yeah, that isn't it. Well, and that we haven't even gotten there. And
that's okay. That's just
yeah, but that's a curiosity is like, what are you really so angry at? Like, rather than, okay, my projection here, my hit, like rather than, beating yourself up or feeling bad that you might have a little bit, might have some piece of that anger in you. It's like, what is it that you're so angry at? Because, there's a lot to be angry at these days, real lot of stuff in the world.
Oh gosh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And collective, you're even bringing the collective in, but even personally,
Yeah.
I no, and I have so much to be grateful for.
Of course, it
But
doesn't
no,
mean.
but I don't want to cover over yelling. I don't want to cover over the anger, because as grateful as I am, I guess I also have a lot of anger, and maybe I'm, I've been a lifelong, not lifelong, I've been an adult long, THC smoker, and, kind of cooling down.
Right, it tones it down, and maybe
Tones
there's
it
maybe
down.
part of this, something, whatever in you is angry, it could be from something in childhood, some way that you were raised, something that happened. Like there's so many reasons, and if you haven't moved the anger,
Yeah.
and it could be a buildup, that it might be useful to actually look at it, or maybe in your dream you already worked it. Maybe you worked it in the dream because you allowed yourself to be so yelling. You allowed yourself
Oh
the
God,
anger.
I
So
hope so.
perhaps the energy has moved, and perhaps it's just like a buildup that needed to come out. We all have anger, right? We all have things that we're angry at over the years,
But it comes down to, for me, because I know there are people who are atheists, I honor that, whatever. I am very faithful. And for me, it always comes down to anger with God. And that's the scariest
Sure.
place to stand.
Anger at the condition that you find yourself in.
Yeah.
In a way,
Yes.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Anger
Losing my mom
your
in my
ex,
early 20s, losing my dad, whatever. Nothing, everybody will lose their beloveds in their lives. That's mortality.
right.
And so
anger
no,
is all part of that. And
I
so
really
we
need
often
to,
don't look at the anger, especially as women.
I
We
really
too
need
often
to
don't.
trust.
Mhm.
Need to try, which I do. And again, it comes to gratitude, but I don't want to be so airy fairy, rose colored glasses that I don't see the truth. I want to live in truth.
Yeah. 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 I like that. A balance, right? It's like, what's right? All of it is true. It's like, that's true. And the optimism is true in you too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah.
I just want to say, on a feeling level, this is really moving me quite deeply. So I thank you so much, Ellen. And I hope to continue reflecting on this.
Yeah.
It seems
It's actually really, thank you, because it's kind of meaningful for me too. Like, as we consider a dream for one another, it
yes.
feels, and there's something in it that's interesting for me as well.
Yes.
The imagery. Yeah.
I'm glad that it's meaning something to you. We're in a similar place.
Yeah.
Are moving into new spaces.
Yeah. And I cannot tell you how many people are moving around. It's really interesting right now. Everybody, all my clients sharing where they moved, where everybody's moving around. I think I'm going to say everybody, that's very hyperbolic, but we'll just say a lot of people.
Yeah.
Exactly. In the United States, the northern state, United States. I think a lot of people
I see that in my life as well.
We're moving, we're trying to escape the fires. I mean, New Mexico is, by the way, on fire in a bad way. Right now, we're okay right here in Santa Fe, but never mind that. It's really bad. So people are running away. Too much water, too much rain, flooding. It's too gray, it's too sunny, it's too hot, it's too dry, it's too whatever. Everybody's trying to, because we're all uncomfortable on some very primal level, I think. Right? Very primal level. And so there's a lot of people doing that. Plus people are having a hard time affording to live where they have been living. So people are moving.
I know there's a fire now in Southern California, but
yes.
we were recently talking about fires not going down to San Diego. So is that more in the LA area?
I don't know where in California. I know there's
Pasadena, if that's correct. Pasadena. No, it's not Pasadena.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm so ensconced in the fire. New Mexico is having the worst fires in the entire United States.
I don't even think I've read about that. I need to.
Yeah, it's
what's going
horrible.
on.
Yeah, it's northern northern New Mexico, like, well, we are in northern, but Santa Fe is okay. I mean, we're okay, but we have had that kind of heavy smoke days, but
Northern,
it's beautiful out right now, but it depends on which way the wind is blowing. We're in a
right?
we have a windy season, and it's just, anyway, it's maddening because they do controlled burns, which I understand.
Yes,
Why in the world everybody is like up in arms about, why would you do a controlled burn
right.
in windy season? This is windy season here. We have,
Oh,
it's not,
oh,
we have a windy season, period. That's what
not
happens.
good city planning.
Like, hello, what? And it was just particularly windy this year. And anyway, and very dry. We're in a major drought. And
Yes,
so here we are, fires
yes.
everywhere. Yeah, there's in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Okay.
Oh, it's just bad. There's so
I
many fires.
apologize. I'm just
Yeah.
not that aware of
Yeah.
ships going on.
Yeah, there's so much to be aware of. There's so much to be paying attention to. I just am living in it. So
Yeah.
I'm safe. I'm okay, but other people aren't. A handful of my clients had to go rescue people and animals from the fire, and they're now living in hotels.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, it's really,
Oh, well, I
yeah,
definitely will want to talk about this more with you, but
yeah,
I have to go.
yeah. I
My
know
my
you're
my
working.
day is here. So
Yeah,
thank you again so much, Ellen. A
you're so
lot to
welcome.
think about.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, we'll chat another time. We'll catch up.
Yeah, and I want to say to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this dream exploration, and Holamode Metukin.
Sweet dreams, everybody.